Let's go home. Welcome to day 26 of Vlogoween, where I am posting regular vlogs in the lead up to Halloween. Think Vlogmas but Halloween edition. It's currently like 6:30 in the morning. We have to go home. But yeah, it's travel day, we're going home, we are leaving Tunisia and going back to England. Our flight isn't till 12, but our hotel is probably about an hour and 40-minute drive from the airport, sorry. So we are getting our airport transfer we're getting picked up at 7:30, and we got up at like 6 just to make sure we got everything packed. Breakfast opens at 7, so we figured we would just get some last minute bits just to make sure we've got some food in our stomach before like a long drive, because we both get travel sick. So yeah, that's why we're up so early. Also, hello, if you don't know me, my name is Rajan, aka Not Half Bad Crochet, and if you would like to catch the rest of my Vlogoween posts, be sure to subscribe to my channel, give this video a little like, and leave me a comment to let me know what you think. So yeah, we are just literally getting dressed and packing up any last minute bits. We don't have a huge amount to pack up this morning, thankfully. We did quite a little bit last night, and we literally just had an early night and then got up quite early this morning. It's early, so not feeling particularly chatty. I think our flight is running on time. We got like a notification a couple of days ago about Storm Amy in the UK. I think we're kind of in Tunisia, it's like we're getting like residual winds from maybe Storm Amy, I actually don't know. But it's been super windy around here. So yeah, we did get a notification about Storm Amy maybe affecting flights for like Friday and Saturday, aka today. But the notification has gone, so we're hoping that it's kind of like been cleared up, essentially, or maybe like the winds the storm has moved kind of away from the UK and like further north maybe. So hopefully our flight should be all okay. We got a little notification about our airport transfer yesterday, so that's all on track. We don't have anything left to do other than get up the bus, down to breakfast, out of the hotel. Let's travel back home. Okay, it's the last day. Here is our room tour. So this is the doorway. There's no peephole, but that's okay. We need one of these little card reader thingies, so luckily we got 2 cards so we could keep the AC and the fridge on. On the left we have wardrobe at number 1, and then a luggage rack, which is very helpful. Another wardrobe there with hanging space. Over here you have the toilet and a bidet. You've got a really nice big mirror actually, which is so rare in hotels. I find that usually you don't have a full-length mirror. And then over here you have a separate bathroom with a really nice big sink and like vanity area, and then you have the bath and shower area, and then it's got like a space there so you can put your products and stuff, which is quite handy. It does have one of those typical cliche hotel hair dryers, which are honestly terrible. Some cool tiles, and then we have, ignore all of the mess by the way, we have a big desk area with like a chair and another big mirror. This was actually quite handy for when I was doing my makeup and stuff, because I like to sit down when I do my makeup, so yeah, I quite enjoyed that bit. Then we have the bed, some guy there. Ignore obviously all of the mess, of course. And then bedside table, bed. It's one of those beds that like, it's just 2 singles. Well, it feels like 2 singles pushed together. And you've got like a butt crack over the bed, which is really annoying. But they did give us separate blankets though, so we slept really well. So we're thinking of maybe doing that when we get home. I think it's called like the Scandinavian sleep method or whatever. And then you have this cabinet, which did have the TV on it, and then in that cupboard is a mini fridge, but we weren't using the TV, so we just used the plug socket, because there's no plug sockets here. There's one. There's one next to like the desk down there, near where the bin is, and that is it. And we were like, okay, well, we need to charge our devices. So yeah, if you do want to watch TV, you can. And then we have the balcony area, which is quite big. Got a table, 2 chairs, and then a little thingy to dry your stuff. And then over here, there is like a tiny table and a chair. There was another chair, but I just moved it because it was more comfortable. And then another bedside table. And then yeah, let's go look at the outside view, outside the balcony. It does have a lock on the door as well, which is great. But this is our view. So I think there's another hotel over there, because you could kind of hear them doing stuff, and you can see their pool kind of. And then this is like our hotel grounds here, and then this is like the kids area. Me and my partner went to go play on the swings, and then you've got the ocean over there. But yeah, this is the room. Okay, time to go home.
Go on, you sleepy little bitch.
I'm sleepy. Hi friends, we're back home. We made it safely. So yeah, let me fill you in on my day. I think I might lie down. No, do I want to lie down? Oh, I'll stay sitting up, I guess. We obviously had to get up really early. Our airport transfer was collecting at 7:30. Our flight was at 12, so we obviously wanted to kind of get to the airport for about 10, maybe like 9:30. But the journey from our airport to from our hotel, sorry, to the airport was about 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we did kind of need to be picked up relatively early, and then obviously to account for like any traffic or delays, all of that stuff. So yeah, we did end up getting up quite early, and we literally just like, as soon as the alarm went off, we were like, okay, we have to get up out of bed because we would have been trapped cuddling and then we would have been late. We literally sprung out of bed, got dressed, finished packing up any last minute bits, then went down to breakfast. We weren't particularly hungry. It was quite busy at breakfast time actually that early, which I was surprised at, but I was like, how are you not eating so early? Like I can't eat when I like that early in the day. But I suppose if people are just getting up that time anyway, it's not really early for them. But yeah, I was like, I'm not hungry at all. I think I had like one pastry just so I had something in my stomach, and then I did relieve some pastries and to put them in a little seedy bag, little sandwich bag, for the plane journey, because I knew that we'd get snacky either like in the car or like as we arrived. Then we had the long old drive to the airport. It was just very long, very boring. I tried to like have a little nap, but it was just quite uncomfortable. It was a really bumpy ride this time. I don't really know why, but yeah, couldn't really sleep, but wasn't really awake either. I was kind of in that like almost in-betweeny stage and then like fully awake, and yeah, it was just a bit, felt a bit discombobulated, I think. And then yeah, we got to the airport. We then checked in our bag. We weren't allowed to do a online check-in for some reason. I'm not sure if it's like Tunisia specifically, but yeah, we couldn't do an online check-in for whatever reason, so we had to check in there and then obviously like check our bag in, like our hold luggage, and then we got our boarding passes from like the front desk and stuff. I was expecting it to be quite busy because that was the rule, but we queued for about 5 minutes. I think we were like second in the queue and got seen right away. Very, very swift, very quick. Checked our bag in. Obviously on the way here, our luggage was overweight. It wasn't overweight by a lot. I think it was like 27 kilograms, and our limit was 23. But then we were like, okay, well, let's see if we can increase the limit or like just get another, or just like pay the excess now. And so we could increase it to 32 kilograms for like £9, which is really annoying because obviously they charged us £48 when we were coming in, because obviously we didn't know, because we don't have scales at home, so like we couldn't even weigh it. Like obviously if we weighed it before, we would have just paid it before we got to the airport. So very annoying, but at least it was cheaper. I'm just like, wow, £48, you fucking thieves, you know. Like obviously I know that, like, you know, you have a limit, la la la, but it's like, God, if you can do it for cheaper, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, checked in our bag. It was actually lighter. It was like 25 or 25.5 or something. It wasn't even like 26, so I was quite surprised at like how much lighter it become somehow. And then yeah, we went through security. Like I always find, I think I mentioned this in my last vlog, but I always find that when I go to airports in other countries, I realise how spoiled we are with London airports, because they are very, very efficient. And like here as well, like going through security was so odd, because it didn't feel like we were going through like actual airport security. Like they seemed really like blasé, and like, you know, when you've got the kind of metal detectors and they're obviously like, you know, they usually like, you know, beckon you forward sort of thing, or they will like come through, you know, as you're all queuing to get through the actual metal detectors. They weren't really doing that. And so like there was 2 security people like on the other side, and I'm kind of like, shall I go? Do you want me to go? Like they're not even looking at me, they're not looking at the machine, like the kind of the actual detector or anything. They're not really paying any attention to me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walked through, didn't beep or anything. And then I just like got my stuff and walked off, and I was kind of like, this doesn't you don't really seem to be very like, you know, aware of the fact that I'm walking through. But I was like, whatever, you know, it made my life easier. But I wasn't too bothered. But yeah, I just thought it was really odd. And then it was kind of like, all right, well, that's airport security, now we're done. And then when we got through, so the plan was, because obviously we got there relatively early, I think by this point it was probably maybe about 10 AM. The plan was to buy something there for lunch and for dinner, because we were basically going to be traveling through lunch and dinner. So our flight was at 12, we would have been on the aeroplane during lunchtime, we knew we were going to get hungry, and then when we got home we were probably going to be traveling through dinner time at around like 5 or 6 PM, so we knew again we would get hungry. So the plan was, all right, basically buy ourselves like 2 meals that we can just like shove in our backpack, and then we won't get hungry on the journey. When we get to like through the passport control in Tunisia airport and in Fida airport, there is no food places. So there's one big cafe, and it's called like, I think it was called like Cakes and Coffee or something like that. Loads of people are sat there, it's not open. So we're like, okay. And then there's like around the corner, there's another bit that says like Pub and Brasserie, it's not open. And we're like, okay, we're kind of fucked, because we need water, we need food, like, you know. And we're like, oh, okay. So we go around the corner, there's like this little kind of almost like, I don't even want to call it a food court, because it's definitely not a food court. It was just like imagine like a food court, but like a micro scale, like, as in like there's not like multiple food places, it's like there's 3 small windows all in one space. One of them is doing like hot food, one of them is doing like sandwiches and stuff, the other is doing like coffee and stuff and pastries. And so that was the only open place. Bear in mind it's like 10 AM on a Saturday at this point. It's not like it's the butt crack of dawn or anything. So we were like, okay, well, we don't have any fucking option. Obviously it's extortionately priced, but we were like, well, we have to buy food here because we will be starving otherwise. And I was like, I don't really like the food on airplanes, so I don't want to even buy like a wrap or whatever bullshit that EasyJet have got. I had to buy food there also as well. So obviously, I think I mentioned this before, but Tunisia is a closed currency, meaning you can't take Tunisian dinar outside of Tunisia, which is fine, fair enough. But you would expect, okay, cool, I will just use all of my cash dinar at the airport. Luckily we had, I think I came across like a TikTok or something where somebody basically said that at the airport you can't spend, even in duty free, it's all in euros, you can't spend Tunisian dinar at the airport. You can before you go through security, like there's like a little gift shop. Ironically, there was like a cafe that did like bagels and stuff like that, but we were thinking, oh, we'll get like actual food when we go through passport control. Obviously we would have preferred, and now thinking about it, I'm like, oh, we should have just fucking got food there, because it probably would have been a little bit more of a range at least. But yeah, you can use your dinars there, but once you go through passport control you're not allowed, and it's all euros. We converted our cash beforehand, so I think we had like a few coins, which we bought like a postcard and a chocolate bar or something, and then any notes we had, my partner got them exchanged to euros, which we kind of were planning on using to obviously buy our lunch and dinner at the airport. Luckily we knew this, but there were so many people who had obviously been caught out and were like, we just have these Tunisian dinar, and obviously you can't take it back because you go through like another security scanner before you get on the airplane, and presumably they would check, or like they would know, I don't fucking know. But yeah, so I bought like a sandwich, my partner got a sandwich, he got a coffee, I got like chicken nuggets and chips, like a really small portion of chicken nuggets and chips, and then I got like a quiche as well, vegetable quiche, so we could have this on our journey. And then I had some of the chicken nuggets at the actual whilst we were there. We just had to hang around the airport for a little bit. We got some water as well, really ridiculously tiny bottles of water, which we were like, okay, we're gonna drink this in like 3 sips, but we obviously just didn't have a fucking choice. There was no like taps that we could fill our water up. There was no, you know, we didn't have any options. If you had like food allergies, you would have been absolutely fucked. Even if you were vegetarian, I don't think there was really any vegetarian stuff there. Maybe chips. And they had like burgers and pizzas and stuff like that, but my partner didn't want hot food that early, and I was like, let me just eat something. So that's why I got the chicken nuggets. But yeah, anyway, kind of annoying. I was really expecting like more options, because you know, like I mean, any airport I've been to, there's been at least like a chain restaurant of some kind. Like, I don't know, a fucking Burger King or like a Pret or something. Not expecting a Pret exactly, but you know, there's something, there's more options. But yeah, I was a bit confused as to like the reasoning why they wouldn't have any of these places open, blah blah blah, but whatever. We waited around for our gate to open. We boarded fine, everything seemed to be fine in terms of timing. They didn't seem to be like, they didn't kind of say anything about the storm in England kind of like delaying anything. So yeah, we boarded all on time, and then as soon as we sat down, they were like, yeah, we have to wait for a little bit because of Storm Amy. So we were delayed by about half an hour. At this point as well, like we were all like, me and my partner were just a bit like out of it, because we were tired, but we were like, well, we can't sleep. But then I was like, well, I don't want to have like caffeine, and my partner was also like, I don't want to have like more caffeine because we might want to sleep on the flight, but like we don't want to, I don't know, it was just like, you know, when you're just kind of like, oh, I need to be awake and alert, but I also like don't want to be too awake and alert, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, it was just a bit, we were just feeling a bit weird and a bit out of it, but ultimately we were fine. And the flight was fine, but it was so fucking stuffy on there, you know, the stupid little air shooter that they have coming out. It was so stuffy, it was really hot. Obviously we were sat on the plane for ages, for like half an hour, and we were like in the blazing sun, and yeah, it was just a bit much, and like it was quite uncomfortable. It felt a lot more cramped this time. Not that I think it was actually more cramped, but like we just collectively felt a bit more cramped. And yeah, it was fine. Obviously, like I said, we took off a little bit later than planned, but not the complete end of the world. And then yeah, landed all fine. It was very windy. I get why there's like storm warnings, but yeah, Storm Amy, she don't play, man. So yeah, we landed fine, got through security fine, collected our luggage fine. Annoyingly, when we got to the train station, we had just missed a train. Like literally, like the train left at 4:30, we got there at 4:31. Like we got off the shuttle at 4:30, so obviously like we were like, there's no way we can like even run to the platform to get the train. So annoyingly, the trains were every hour, so we had to wait for basically an hour, but it was fine, no biggie. Got on the train, made it home. We were thinking of like, we were debating going like a different route, because there's a train station that's like maybe about half an hour walk from us, but it's a direct train. Or we could have like gone through London, maybe like Clapham, or I think Woking, or like another London station. We could have gone through London, then gone to like a station that's nearer to us. So we were maybe debating doing that, but when we were looking at the trains, they were all fucked because of Storm Amy. I think there was like a tree that had fallen on the tracks or something, so all of the London ones were actually kind of fucked up. So yeah, luckily our trains were like fine, because I was really mentally preparing myself for like another horrible journey home, especially after like my solo holiday, because that one was horrific. Like that it took me about 3 hours, maybe even a bit longer, to get home last time. And knowing that there was a storm, I was like really mentally preparing myself to like get back home at like midnight or whatever. By the time we actually like stepped in the house, it was probably like maybe about like 6:40, like a little bit closer to 7. We were just so fucking tired, man. Like we were tired. I obviously, like, I love my partner to death, but like, you know, we spent a whole week together, you know. I was just kind of like, I don't want to talk anymore. I was out of yap, if that's even possible for me. I was just a bit tired, a little bit grumpy, just what it was like, you know, when you're kind of at the end of your journey and you're like, I just want to get home, like I just want to be home now. Because it felt like, obviously we were traveling basically like since 7 AM, so nearly 12 hours of travel, which is crazy actually when you think about it. Long old journey, made it home, said hello to my little rabbit, my little Lucy. He was so excited to see us. I gave him a big cuddle, and he was so excited to see us. It was so nice. And then yeah, me and my partner just hung out in our respective rooms. I went to go lie down on the bed, He lay down on the sofa, we just hung out together. I mean, we hung out in separate rooms, which was actually really nice, and we just doom scrolled for a little bit, and then we went to bed. That was it. And then today is Sunday, so we've done all of our unpacking, we've done I've done all the laundry, I've put the laundry out. So yeah, feeling on top of things, ready to go back to work tomorrow, which should hopefully not be too stressful or too bad. Travel day is done, holiday is done. I had a really nice holiday. Like, I think I've given my kind of review of how I felt about, you know, the holiday and the hotel and the area and the food and la la la. But yeah, ultimately I had a really good time. I feel very well rested as well. It was a good restful period. I really enjoyed going on holiday with my partner and spending some, like, you know, good quality time with him and like doing some fun shit. And yeah, it was a good time, man. I had a really excellent holiday. So yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me on this travel vlog. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you want to check out any of my future Vlogoween posts, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I do have like a whole playlist dedicated to my Vlogoween vlogs if you want to catch up. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll hopefully catch you on the next one.